Well, CryptoLocker hackers said, "Show me the money," and Swansea police did, but only after they reached out to the FBI and realized it was the only way they could get their files back. Therese, most of us have been seeing white all day, but for the city of Fall River, this is a pile of green now that the city has overspent its snow budget. Evidence of this fire is right here behind these gates, but that's not the only thing investigators are looking at. They're also looking at what's over here. These cameras, hoping surveillance video might explain why there even was a fire. First, I want to talk about the damage from this explosion. It's very extensive. I'm going to step out of the way just so you can see what I'm talking about. You can actually look inside somebody's home. Popular songs like this one by Trinidad James, plus the two Molly-related deaths, is why UMass Dartmouth says it had to warn more people than just faculty and staff. Right now, librarians are teaching people how to make little figurines and toys like this, but their goal is to also teach them how to make things that are more practical, like maybe a cup or even a plastic coffee mug sleeve or top. And the city's also going to look at how it maintains current crosswalks. Whether it's doing a good enough job of marking the crosswalks, giving people enough time to cross safely, and finally just making sure people are following the rules of the road. The 87-year-old was born here in South Dakota. Then she moved to Nebraska. It took decades, but she finally made it to 49 states on her own. But she needed help to get to the 50th right here in Rhode Island. 18-year-old Wjar February spends a lot of time online. Most of the time, the North Attleboro High School senior is busy posting video game reviews to his well-followed YouTube page and tweeting.
I don't censor myself on my Twitter, and that's, I think, what has gotten to me where I am.
On February 5th, he saw a tweet from his school's Twitter account written by Assistant Principal Leanne Todd stating, "North High won, no school tomorrow, see you in June." Nick retweeted it, adding, "F off, hashtag seniors, hashtag no makeup, hashtag chirp chirp."
It was kind of just a reference to a running joke at our school.
His assistant principal wasn't laughing. She asked Nick to delete that tweet and several other related tweets. He complied.
First thing out of my mouth was, I'm sorry if you took offense to my choice of words.
At first, the 18-year-old planned to just take 3 detentions as punishment, but then something happened online.
Once my fans started tweeting at the ACLU that they got involved, and I realized that this might actually have something, and this might be something important that we need to bring up.
There's no doubt that if Nick was actually here on school grounds, that he would have been in trouble, but he was not. Nick's tweet was written at home on his personal account. It wasn't even posted to the school's Twitter account, which is why the ACLU sent a letter to the school stating Nick's speech was expression protected by the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, as well as by the Massachusetts Student Freedom of Expression Act. I am asking that you rescind the discipline, remove it from Nick's record. The school agreed. Nick now hopes his story sparks a debate at North Attleboro High and other schools.
Sierra?
Well, Patrice, I spoke to the father of the 9-year-old boy who wrote this hit list, and he told me off camera that his son does have some behavioral issues, and he believes that bullying was to blame for what happened. But now he, as well as several other parents at the school, are questioning whether the school handled this situation correctly. They're not the only ones. Police also are having tons of questions. It's a fun day at home for 8-year-old Sean Farrell. Debbie Farrell was afraid to send her Hill Roberts 4th grader to school after rumors of a hit list spread.
I felt that if I sent my son to school today and something happened, I would never be able to forgive myself.
She learned of the list Monday night through the media. Farrell says there was no word from the school until Tuesday morning, about 2 hours after classes began.
Why was there not a phone call made? Last night was just an epic fail.
NBC 10 did some digging and learned from Attleboro Police Chief Kyle Hegney, a teacher at Hill Roberts Elementary School, found the kill list last Monday on February 3rd. The chief says the school is mandated to notify police of notes like this, but did not. And I tried to ask the superintendent some questions about why the school did not notify police as soon as they found out about the note. As you can see, this is the superintendent's parking spot and his car is here. However, we were told he was not available to answer any of our questions. Superintendent Kenneth Sheehan did send out this statement, which says in part, the superintendent feels confident that all of the students involved are safe and that he will continue to take the necessary steps to keep them that way. Chief Hagney tells NBC 10 his officers are now investigating. Due to the child's age, no criminal charges will be made. Their focus is on making sure the 9-year-old gets the help he needs, which is what other parents want as well. Now, according to the father of the 9-year-old who wrote this hit list, his son was allowed to go to school last week when the school first found the note. But as of today, he says his son has been suspended for at least a week. Sierra Putman, NBC 10 News. Ruby Olivares hasn't left her daughter's side since the accident. That's the reason why I met with her from her daughter's hospital room, where we spoke about what she remembers and how her family's recovering.
She's just not the same baby, though. You know, she was always a play around, hyper happy baby, and now she can't do much. She's limited.
Limited but alive. It's a small miracle for Ruby Olivares.
The fact that I almost lost my daughter, if it would have just been another minute, she would have been gone.
On Tuesday, Olivares, her boyfriend Ruben Gonzalez, and their baby were inside their Pawtucket apartment.
Started out like any day.
While she was taking a shower, their home exploded, then caught fire.
I heard the blast. I opened the shower curtain, and I just saw all the fire and the ceiling down, and I heard the baby crying and Ruben screaming, and I just ran across the house to grab her. I started throwing the ceiling off her.
The baby was covered in debris and burning. Gonzalez took the brunt of the explosion, trying to protect his family.
He was trying to get us both out. It's just his hands were so burned. It was raw. But to know that he loves me enough to try and save me before himself, he's not going nowhere now. No, he's screwed. He's stuck in my family.
More than half of Gonzalez's body was burned. He's next door at Rhode Island Hospital. Olivares says that morning he was baking brownies in the kitchen when something exploded, possibly natural gas. Didn't smell rotten eggs or anything?
Nothing.
Now the young mother is extra protective, hardly leaving her daughter's side. 8-month-old Leilani has toys to keep her busy. But the baby can't leave until her burns heal.
Thankfully, no surgeries.
Seeing her baby injured is torture.
It's really hard. It's really hard.
But Leilani is still here, unlike their home.
Memories that I'll never get back. The baby's favorite things. Everything was there.
Now she holds on to the simple joys.
She jumps in her crib and she gives us pow-pow. Pow-pow.
Little miracles to help her family recover. Family and friends are stepping in, hosting a donation drive tomorrow to help. Sierra Putman, NBC 10 News. Well, if you think about it, 50 states is pretty impressive. And today, 87-year-old Emily Schaefer's daughter and 2 granddaughters were there at the state capitol to help mark the occasion.
Isn't it a pretty capital?
It really is.
Take the compliment, Rhode Island. 87-year-old Emily Schaefer's seen the 49 other states. With this visit to Providence, she's now been to all 50.
We've been to Missouri and Illinois, Wisconsin, Texas.
It's a goal she's had since before her grandchildren were born.
Every summer we took a vacation somewhere different. She had a journal. We kept track of all the states that we'd been in. Some of them we just cut the corners of or maybe just drove through, but they were all checked off the list.
Schaefer almost made it to Rhode Island years ago, but her husband wouldn't make the detour.
That's right. He said, oh, sometime we'll make that trip. But no.
The 87-year-old was born here in South Dakota. Then she moved to Nebraska. It took decades, but she finally made it to 49 states on her own. But she needed help to get to the 50th, right here in Rhode Island. Her granddaughter, Katie Pritchard, made it happen.
Yes, I just graduated from college, and this was the first trip I wanted to take.
And she did. And she said, I'll get you there, Grandma. I feel wonderful.
Seeing the excitement is priceless, especially now Schaefer's diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease.
It's an ugly disease. It's an ugly, ugly disease.
During the trip, you can see the signs.
But I have to remember what state this is.
Rhode Island.
We wanted to be sure and get her here before, while she could still enjoy it.
Enjoy she did.
Do you want a picture in front of the Capitol?
I would really like that.
Pictures like these will serve as reminders of this milestone, no matter this grandmother's state of mind.
Say it again and smile this time. Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
And the 3 generations of women are staying in Newport after visiting the Capitol today. They also decided to stop by Brown University. Sierra Putman, NBC 10 News.
Sierra, thank